Welcome to Quick Course Digest. Today, we're digging into quality management. You ever wonder what separates the good companies from the truly great ones? The ones that seem to nail it every single time? Well, it isn't luck. It's a system, a framework that we call quality management. So, think about it. We have more choices now than ever before. How, in this incredibly competitive world, do the top companies consistently deliver exactly what we, the customers, actually want? The answer, as you're about to see, is a comprehensive system that's woven into everything they do. All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start by looking ahead, into the future. Then we'll zoom into the present to really listen to what people are saying. From there, we'll see how to build quality from the inside out, extend it to your partners, and finally wrap it all up into one powerful, continuous system. Let's get started. First up, anticipating future markets. Now, you might think a discussion on quality starts with a product, right? Nope, we're starting with the future. Because real, lasting quality isn't just about meeting today's needs. It's about being ready for the needs people don't even realize they have yet. And that brings us to the million-dollar question. How on earth can you predict what customers will want before they even know they want it? It sounds like magic, but it's not. It's about shifting from being reactive to being incredibly proactive. The main tool for this is something called customer behavior prediction. And don't think of it like a crystal ball. It's more like a super sophisticated weather forecast for business. It takes tons of data and creates a roadmap of what people are probably going to expect down the line. And what's so cool about this is the kind of data it uses. It's not just looking at your past purchases, it's combining that personal stuff, like what you clicked on a website, with these huge macro forces. We're talking economic health, social media buzz, even the political climate. It layers all this information to paint a surprisingly clear picture of the future. And when you use technology like AI to analyze all that data, the results are just huge. According to Forrester, when you blend that AI power with actual human insight, the payoff is massive. Look at these numbers. Operational efficiency shoots up by 68%, and customer satisfaction gets a 61% boost. So what does this actually mean in the real world? Well, take Netflix. You know their recommendation algorithm? The one that seems to know exactly what you want to watch next? That thing is so good at predicting what you'll like that it saves them over $1 billion every year, just by keeping people from unsubscribing. That's the power of getting ahead of the curve. Okay, so predicting the future gives us the big picture. But now we need to get specific. Once you have a sense of where the market is going, you have to lean in and really, truly listen to the voice of the customer right now. This famous quote from Henry Ford is just perfect here. See, back in 1909, the big need was just a car that was reliable and affordable. The Model T was a quality product for its time. But this quote also teaches us a massive lesson about how quality works. And here's the lesson. Customer expectations are never, ever static. They're constantly evolving. What was an amazing, top-of-the-line feature yesterday is just the basic standard today. Ford's competitors figured this out. They realized people wanted more than just a black car. And by listening, they found a huge opportunity. And the consequences of not listening, they're pretty brutal. It creates this domino effect. You start with poorly defined requirements, which leads to endless, costly redesigns. That pushes your deadlines back, makes your team miserable, and in the end, you launch a product that just flops because it doesn't solve a real need. So we know how to figure out what to build. Now for the hard part. How do you set up your company to deliver on that promise consistently every single time? Well, that's where you have to actually design for quality. A focus on quality isn't something that happens overnight. It's an evolution. A company might start small, just making parts. But as it grows and customer demands get more complex, it has to mature. It has to build systematic processes, often getting formal certifications like ISO 9001 to prove its commitment to a repeatable, high-quality approach. So what does that system look like? Well, these are the core building blocks. You need clear goals everyone agrees on. You need documented processes so there's one right way to do things. You need great training, regular check-ins, and maybe most importantly, a culture where everyone is always looking for a better way to do things. All right, let's talk about something that's super important but often gets forgotten. You can have the best internal system in the world, but your commitment to quality can't just stop at your own front door. It has to cover your entire supply chain. It really is as simple as this. Your quality is only as strong as your weakest link. If you're building a premium product with a cheap, unreliable part from a supplier, your product is unreliable, period. One failure from one supplier can shut down your whole operation and wreck the reputation you spent years building. That's why you have to be so proactive here. You've got to vet suppliers thoroughly before you work with them, you need to have a backup plan in case one of them has a disaster, and you need to be in constant communication, monitoring their performance to make sure they're meeting the same high standards you set for yourself. Okay, let's pull all these threads together. If there is one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. Quality is not a final inspection at the end of an assembly line. It's a continuous, never-ending cycle where every single part of the business plays a role. And that cycle always starts by looking out and looking ahead. You have to anticipate where the world is going before you can build something for it. That big picture view is what gives you the context to then listen effectively. It helps you ask the right questions so you can turn those broad market trends into specific, concrete customer needs. And that deep understanding of both the future and the present becomes the blueprint you use to design everything: your products, your internal processes, your supplier partnerships. Everything is built on that foundation. Quality isn't tacked on at the end, it's designed in from the very beginning. And that right there is the fundamental mindset shift. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Where in your own work can you make that change? Where can you stop just checking for errors after they've already happened and start building a system where they're prevented from the very start? Because that is the true core of quality management.